6'1" senior, number 3, Dane McDonald. A 6'1" junior, number 12, Dakota Lillenquist. A 6' senior, number 22, Luke Chandler. A 6'2" junior, number 24, Parker Applegate. And a 6'3" senior, number 30, Tristan Hyman. The Silver Wolves are coached by Skyler Wilson, Andrew Terry, Chris Rodriguez, Steve Galley, and Cody Hildreth. The principal of Riverton High School is Carolyn Gunn. And now introducing the Fremont Silver.
Welcome in the D-Event Center for the 2019 6A quarterfinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Our matchup, the Fremont Silver Wolves and the Riverton Silver Wolves. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart of Deseret News Rewind with you. Dane, this is going to be a very interesting game because I can't see how it goes, but every time I think about it, I see it being close.
Yeah, I think you have two teams with similar roster makeups. The difference is the level of talent of some of those makeups should lead for a really, really interesting ball game. But you look at this Riverton team, Dusty. They were a tough out in Region 3, gave Copper Hills all they could handle late in the year. Dane McDonald, a slasher, really good player, but Parker Applegate might be the best three-point shooter on the floor today for either side.
That's an interesting one to say. And we talk about the Riverton or Fremont Silver Wolves. Got to talk about one man, and that's Dallin Hall. Dallin Hall scored all 17 third-quarter points on Monday. All 17 Fremont third-quarter points on Monday.
And they needed every one of them. A Fremont team that didn't look overpowering in the first half against Lone Peak, but in that second half really poured it on. I think Dallin Hall today, look, just pencil in 20, 25 points for Dallin. It might be higher than that. The real question for me is going to be, where does the support scoring come from? Can Baylor Harrop step up? Can Tyg Voorhees step up? They're going to need one of those two to provide at least 15, in my opinion, to try to get a win over Riverton today.
Harrop and Hymas jump it up, and it's Tyg Voorhees coming away with that jump ball is outside with Dallin Hall. High post to Peterson. Peterson got going early on Monday. Now it's Baylor Harrop with a jump stop. And no call on that contact. A good no call on the push now with Dane McDonald.
It was Dane McDonald with the defensive assignment on Dallin Hall. Had the switch, but that's the way that the defense is going to work for Riverton here in the start.
That shot would not go for Chandler as Hall sent to the corner to Harrop. Harrop floated, rolls off, and rebound clean by Hymas.
When Harrop with two looks, both at the rim. The first extremely tough. That second one a much better look, but neither of them able to find Twine.
Don't know if that's the point today to make sure to get Harrop going because you know Hall will. You need Harrop to be that number two.
Certainly do. He or Voorhees. And mentioned shooting always can be a little bit tough in this gym as they were trying to get entry to Hymas, and that one was just beyond him and out. Hymas one of those players for Riverton that maybe Fremont doesn't have an answer for if they can get him the ball in the blocks. Hymas a big kid underneath and can be a 10, 12-point a game kind of kid in a matchup like this.
Dallin Hall, first shot is a three right down the barrel, and Dallin Hall gets scoring started.
That's a great way to start for your junior scorer. Dallin Hall, I mentioned the second half he had in that first round matchup, and he that's a good way to start in this one.
Stratford out on Hymas. Hymas hands off, little fall away. Jay won't go for Applegate, and we got a foul on the rebound against Fremont.
I go on Voorhees here. It will. First on Tyg.
Applegate to, or pardon me, it's McDonald, the inbound, and it goes at the feet of the defenders. It's Baylor Harrop. Thrown it home.
All right, he's done with this lane. It didn't stuff. Let's just flush it. And Baylor Harrop out on the run, and it's another miscue on the offensive end. Oh, great cut on the backside.
And right now, little things not happening here for Riverton. That was a great cut. That putback wouldn't go. McDonald inside to Hymas. And now Riverton settled things down.
And Mitch Stratford doing a great job in the post against Hymas. He had a great start in the first round for Fremont as McDonald able to hit the field goal.
Terrific shot there by Dane McDonald, getting Riverton on the board with 5:40 to go in the first quarter. Hall again for three. Back iron and a rebound to Hymas. As Riverton, we talked with Coach Skylar Wilson on Monday. He told us, hey, look, we're going to run a lot more half-court stuff. As Hymas, nice drive, gets around Stratford. And Riverton able to get a couple guys on the board here.
Good take by Hymas there. Usually you see him in the block, and boy, bad switch there on the defensive end. Very fortunate Dallin Hall didn't hit that.
Hall couldn't get that one to drop. 1 for 3 to start. As Chandler holds in that far corner into Hymas. Tristan jackknife it up and in. And it's 6-5, Riverton.
6-0 run here by Riverton, right?
That's right.
And it's Hymas with 4 of them. Mentioned number 30 for Riverton. Maybe the kid on the floor that Fremont doesn't have that matchup for.
This Hall now working on Hymas on that switch. Sending the corner to Peterson.
This is a young man that had a strong first quarter for Fremont as well in that first round, Peterson.
Harrop stripped on the drive by Chandler, on the run now. McDonald give it up to Chandler. Pulls for 3 and got it. A 9-0 run from Riverton. 30-second timeout. Dane, an impressive response after that 5-0 start from Fremont.
Definitely. And, you look at their best shooter hasn't even had a shot yet, that being Parker Applegate. But Dane McDonald kind of broke the lid off the rim, and Hymas with a nice drive and then a play inside about 6-8 feet, and then Chandler the transition 3. And Fremont, so easy. You have Dallin Hall with a straightaway 3. You get Harrop out on a breakout. Maybe think, this one's going to come pretty easy. And that Riverton team with a solid response. And Coach Mullaney, be interesting to see if he can get the offense in gear here in the first half.
Yeah, that's the thing right now, and it's got to be down. You got to move the ball. It's got to move from side to side, and it'll be interesting to watch how Fremont responds. And a lot of times, what you worry about, and Dallin actually is pretty good little gauge to this, of him forcing it to make it happen, and then just the ball moving and making it happen. As here goes Baylor Harrop on the angle. Baylor. Hands back to Voorhees.
Great job of Applegate cutting off that drive from Harrop.
Ty can't get that one. That's out of bounds off of Newbold, and we'll stay here.
Great hustle there by Calvin Peterson. Mentioned he had a good start in the first quarter in the first round, and that time able to try to run it down and force Riverton to try to make a play. Ends up staying here.
Can I mention something that, a nice steal. We'll get to that in just a moment. Here comes McDonald in transition. Hands back to Newbold. And now a long range 2 from Lillenquist would not go. Hymas up top to McDonald. Dane off the screen. And Applegate has that one picked by Voorhees, out to McDonald for 3. And Dane's got a 3. 7-point lead for Riverton.
Man, Riverton just doing all the right things. And an offensive rebound by Hymas, and then going to the floor, and Applegate able to keep it. Leads to a 3-pointer in Fremont. Dusty, look out. It's 12-0. Riverton on the run again.
Silverwolf on the prowl as that 3 off the mark from Harrop. Now Applegate can't get that one to drop. Nice hustle by Newbold. Lillenquist can't get it. And a rebound taken by Harrop.
Look at that Riverton defense get back, trying not to concede anything offensive. Ooh. I thought that was going to be an offensive foul.
And I thought he got underneath him. That's one of those, my feeling on that call.
Yeah.
But I got to mention something is, I always talk about 12 years ago and all those different things. Riverton get to the state championship game. Coach Steve Galley was the head coach. And Coach Steve Galley back on the bench at Riverton just seems right. As he got Skylar Wilson to come back to Riverton. Was on his staff at the end of his tenure as the head coach at Riverton, but to see Coach Steve Galley on the bench, just something right about that as Harrop knocks down a long range 2.
Fremont fans have to be excited, breathe a little exhale of relief there. Baylor Harrop from just beyond the line, able to square up, hit it. Mentioned they're going to need someone besides Hall to score today, and if it's Harrop or Voorhees, doesn't really matter who, but we'd love to see the second leading scorer get going. As a nice tie-up there created by Kai Featherstone.
Going to stay with Riverton. 2:28 left in the first. As it's Chandler, send up top Lillenquist. And now Newbold, trying to wrap that around as it gets to the outside, and Chandler, a little floater in the lane, crawls off, and it's Harrop claiming the board. Down the lane, Voorhees fouled on the drive. Inbound.
Chandler picking up the foul is first. Unfortunate because they had Hall underneath the basket all alone as the defense had rotated over. Well, that shot won't go for Renai.
Renai could not get that one to drop, now on the run. Applegate gets a nice seal, but it wouldn't go, and we got an offensive foul on Riverton. And yeah, that was a moving screen. They got a seal here and a seal here and an alley, but it's an offensive foul.
Boy, and Tig, I think it was Tig, went for the steal. Just missed it, opened up a wide lane for Applegate on the drive. Missed it anyway, but the foul, and that's the third team foul on Riverton here.
Hall in the lane, force it up, couldn't get it, and a rebound. Taken by the Silver Wolves and Rigby. Stockton gives it up to Newbold. Chandler trying to get the ball inside and does. This is Gibson working around the horn. Nice pass to Newbold. Try to get that to Gibson. It was tipped by Nye, and it's Gibson able to get it off the window, and it's a 14-7 lead for Riverton.
Really good defense by Nye, though. Had the initial deflection on the inbound, then was able to recover and just late to try to get the block. How about Riverton here? That's now 14-2, doubling up Fremont late in the first.
Harrop, nice crossover down the lane. Left hand and stays home.
That's a nice finish and a soft touch. That one just thought about crawling off, but able to drop for Fremont. Important bucket there near the end of the first quarter.
Harrop and Hall combining for the 9 Fremont points in the first quarter. There's Chandler, nice move, send to the corner. 3 on the way from Applegate, can't get it. And now a foul on the rebound to Gibson. That is number 2.
Number 42, Nick Gibson.
Well, Gibson has been the guy underneath, primarily for Hymas, who will check back in here, but a couple of quick fouls on him, he'll have to check out. As Fremont done a good job on the boards underneath here in the early part. On the defensive end.
25 seconds left in this opening quarter. Dallin Hall being pressured by Dane McDonald. It'll be a fun matchup to watch throughout the day. As Hall gets inside of McDonald, now goes to the rim. Can't get the finish, and they'll get a foul on the rebound. It'll be Dallin's first, team second.
Boy, and since making his first shot, he's had a couple of looks, Dallin hasn't been able to get one to fall, and that time you get Dane behind you on that off arm and a chance to go to the rim, just wouldn't go, and trying to reach after the miss. Gets called for the foul.
10 seconds to go. Dane McDonald walking up the floor. Hand back, Hymas straight away. Tristan Hymas from the outside. Can Fremont get a shot off before the horn as Hall trying to get the 60-foot foul, didn't get it. How about the first quarter for Riverton? It's Riverton Silverwolves 17, Fremont Silverwolves 9. You're watching the 6A state tournament on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Visit DairyWest.com. Thank you to the Deseret News for being the title sponsor for the Academic All-State Awards. And check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports online at DesNews.com. Deseret News, now you know.
As you know, Dan and I are always brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. We want to thank Heidemann and Associates for joining us this week in our coverage of the 5A, 6A tournament, a full-service law firm dedicated to helping you win. If you have any needs, whether it's setting up a will, taking care of your estate, setting up a business, protecting that business, or even a personal injury, give them a call, 801-472-7742. That's a Heidemann and Associates. And Hall has that one knocked out of bounds off of Chandler, and we'll stay here with Fremont.
Well, great job by Riverton. Fremont got a couple switches. Some of the high action at one point had Hymas defending Dallin Hall, and it just didn't matter who the defender was, able to stay in front of the ball and not give any space to Fremont to try to get a shot away.
Mitch Stratford sending the corner to Tyke Voorhees, and the masked man from the corner. A welcome sign as quickly down the floor. Nobody in transition is Parker Applegate with an easy two.
That's a great way to try to quell some momentum off of the made three. Just get up the floor to the rim.
Dallin Hall put it on the floor and finishes. Nice take and finish by Hall. And it's 19-14.
Really not much else that Riverton can do there. Stayed in front of him, even had a help down swipe coming from Hymas.
Gibson pass up the three, hand off to McDonald. Nice finish inside by Hymas, couldn't get it done. And it's tipped out, reset it, Applegate. Back rim, and the rebound taken by Dallin Hall.
Boy, Applegate, a good look, open. A little too strong. Don't want to leave him open too much if you're this Fremont defense.
Voorhees, nice move on the baseline and finishes with the left hand.
Something to be said for speed. Voorhees does a nice job of just curling around and running up the baseline. No chance for the defender to stay with him. And right now, Riverton, hey, you got to get this ball across. There you go.
Just wanted to show he was not a one-trick pony.
Applegate again.
And Applegate knocks down the three. Given that much airspace, Parker Applegate will get it done.
Yeah, and good to see him. You mentioned had an open three, and as a shooter, sometimes if that doesn't go once or twice, you might become a little hesitant to take that shot in the future. For Riverton, they need Applegate to hit that.
Nice job by Harrop, and Baylor blocked at the rim, bringing McDonald with the foul. It'll be Baylor Harrop shooting two.
First personal on McDonald. I like Fremont going inside here and continue to try to work through Harrop. Get him going. One of the other juniors on this team, and he's a young man that scored, what, 42 in a game? Was it? I thought I got over 40.
I think it was over 40. And we were talking about before the game how good Dallin Hall is, but the season high on the year, and I believe school record, goes to Baylor Harrop. If I remember the tweet correctly.
I think you're correct. It's Harrop. It was 1 of 2.
So back down the floor, up 5, Riverton. 5.5 to go in the half. Inside to Hymas. Tristan around Stratford, lost the handle, but Lillenquist there. Nice hands by Voorhees. The masked man does more than shoot threes. Down the floor, Hall. Step back. Dallin Hall. Folks, if you haven't watched him, the kid is absolutely spectacular.
Boy, and absolutely shook Applegate. And just step back, confidently able to hit that three. 8 points now for Dallin.
McDonald hanging on a pivot, hands back to Lillenquist. Got it back in the corner. Try to go inside to Hymas, and Stratford call for the foul.
First personal here on Mitch. A pair of football players doing battle. And had they played this year, it would have been Stratford against Hymas again. Hymas is kind of that roaming safety for Riverton. Stratford was a QB.
We got a couple of quarterbacks playing the post this evening here at the D Event Center.
We got defense by Stratford. He's really picked it up.
And nice hands there on Applegate. Applegate hand back to Newbold. Newbold sent out Lillenquist. Lillenquist float it. Off the mark and rebound taken by Mitch Stratford.
Boy, had Hall roaming away, and it's a good take by Lillenquist. Just need to finish that one. What a block.
Blocked by Dane McDonald on the push now. McDonald, number 2 on Hall. But what a block by Dane.
Boy, impressive. And impressive by McDonald. And you mentioned the second on Hall. In that first round, he picked up his 4th. Late in the 3rd, had to play the entire 5th without fouling out. It'd be interesting to see. I would expect him to stay on here.
30-second timeout. We'll take it with him. 4:14 left in the half.
Jimmy John's a proud supporter of the Utah High School Activities Association. Stop by your nearest Jimmy John's location today to try their new 9-grain wheat salad. Made with the best of the best ingredients and baked fresh every day in store. Now available at a Jimmy John's near you. Wheat yeah, free yeah, Jimmy John's.
.414 left in the half. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Riverton jumped out quickly, and Fremont been able to battle back in this one. It has been the story of the day here in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, two different quarters so far. Applegate trying to hit that 3, back rim, and an offensive rebound here. And then a foul on Voorhees. That'll be the second on Tig.
That'll be the 15th foul on Fremont, so 5 team fouls apiece with just 1 second over halfway through the second quarter.
Only 5 points for Riverton in the quarter. They've all been from Parker Applegate. They run him baseline, pass the screen, and lose it out of bounds.
And just missed opportunities in the second quarter that were coming in that first one. When we look on this end of the floor for Fremont, it is Dallin Hall and Baylor Harrop as that ball is stripped away by Gibson, now on the push. McDonald, back out Chandler, now on the angle, Lillenquist, down Newbold.
Look at Stratford. Boy, he's picked up his physicality, Dusty. I think in the first quarter, on the floor, but I don't think he had the intensity that he's been playing with here in the second, as he'll pick up the foul, and it'll be the second on Mitch Stratford.
Mitch Stratford, I mean, the first game, in the first round, it was his offense in the first quarter, or first half, and now here it's the defense.
Yeah, it felt like they were just content to allow some of those other players to score the ball. Well, he had 8 in the first half, finished with 9. But he was their leading scorer at the break in that first round against Lone Peak. Stratford was.
Inside McDonald, he's got to get a shot up for that 3-second call, and rebound taken by Nye, and Hall gets the call on Dane McDonald with that little Preston Sanchez head toss there.
Second now on Dane McDonald, and it's always great when you can change the game, right? And Preston Sanchez certainly benefited from that call often in his time at Copper Hills.
You ready for some fun trivia?
I can't wait.
Last time Fremont played Riverton in the basketball state tournament.
Are you gonna? Is that asking?
I'm asking.
Let's see. Well,
is Harrop?
I'm gonna go 2012.
As Voorhees can't get that one. 2006.
Oh man!
And the reason why, that was our first state tournament, and it was a doozy. There was the reigning state champion Fremont Silverwolves that fell that day to Riverton, who made it to the state championship game. And it was, I believe it was a 3-point win.
That shot by Applegate, no good. Yes, but you know what the air temperature was.
It was a frigid. Actually, it was colder that day because it was at the East Center inside the building. But it was a 66-63 win for Coach Steve Galley's Riverton Silverwolves, who, I remember that state tournament so well. At least their run, because I picked them to win, and Coach Mark DuPont made fun of me. But They won that game by 3. The second round against Skyline, they made a shot to send it to overtime. Mike Larson made that shot. And Hall can't get that one. Nye with the board. Send up top. Featherstone now. Voorhees back to Hall in the corner. Dallin Hall now with 11.
Great patience on that play. Nye could have maybe forced one. Shoot, Voorhees even could have taken a decent look, but you get your best shooter in the corner. Dallin Hall able to drain it.
One last note on that game. It was Morgan Grimm with 35 points.
If I recall correctly, I believe that game went to overtime.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't recall. I just saw it up on your phone. Tig Voorhees with the finish.
And Tig now with 7 points.
Sometimes, Dusty, it's about peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Peripheral vision.
Timeout, Coach Wilson. And how about these Fremont Silver Wolves? Bouncing back in the second quarter, a 3-point lead with 1:36 left in the half.
A full timeout taken by Riverton. Today's game is being streamed live online and will be available for replay at any time at live.ksl.com. Why do you participate in high school activities? The NFHS My Reason Why campaign shows how participation not only develops individual skills and character for the future, but drives a stronger sense of self and community that students will feel immediately and for the rest of their lives. Share your story at nfhs.org/myreasonwhy and on social media using hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
.136 left in the half. Fremont leading by 3. Dave, this has been a fun one.
Has been. It's been until 2 quarters. I mean, Riverton up 17-9 after the first. It's been a 16-5 response from Fremont here in the second.
Lillenquist passes up the 3, gets it to Hymas out of foul on Baylor Harrop. You want to know something strange right now? No Dallin Hall on the floor. Dallin usually plays 32 minutes a game.
I was going to say, Dusty, we've done a couple Fremont games. Has this happened this year?
This is probably like the 10th game we've done in the last 2 years of Fremont. Yeah. And I don't remember him ever sitting unless it was a foul out. I don't remember him fouling out.
Maybe it's the elevation.
Has to be the elevation.
He's used to the low heights of Pleasant View. We're in Ogden now.
South Ogden, make sure you get that right. Minute and 10 seconds left here in the half. As Harrop fouled on the drive by Lillenquist. And there'll be 1-1 free throws for Baylor Harrop.
How about 3 scorers for Fremont? Hall, Voorhees, Harrop. That's it.
Well, we know in the first round that was one of the keys. That was brought to us by Coach Ross. Like, look, 3 guys, they score 63 points a game, and 53 of them come from 3 guys.
Yeah. Tonight they scored 26 and 26 from 3 guys, now 27.
And needless to say for us, he didn't even give us multiple choice to figure him out. 27-22, Fremont. As McDonald, Lillenquist, now Chandler look inside to Hymas. Trying to back down Nye, send up top Lillenquist. McDonald, free throw line, Jay, no. And Harrop and McDonald were battling for it. And Mr. Official right there makes the call to go the other way.
Riverton hasn't scored for the last several minutes. They're still stuck with just 5 points in the quarter. I was going to mention Tristan Hymas. He had that great first quarter, 7 points. None in the second here. And Fremont's done a great job of really bodying him up.
That free-flowing offense we saw in that first quarter has not been had here in the second. As Featherstone give it up to Harrop. 30 seconds left in the half. And now Peterson will walk it up to the top of the key with 25 seconds to go.
You look at this lineup on the floor, no Voorhees, no Hall. I'm guessing it's going to be 10.
10 or 2. Peterson. Featherstone. Shot is off the mark with 6 seconds left, or 0.6 of a second left. And McDonald short on that one. That'll do it. First half comes to a close. It's Fremont 27, Riverton 22. You're watching the quarterfinals of the 6A state tournament on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Fremont Silver Line under the direction of Misty Robbins. Please welcome to the floor the dance company from Riverton High School. Under the direction of Bryn Perkins.
Just let me work. Just let me work.
quarter possession to Riverton.
Start of the second half, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Dane, a impressive second quarter from Fremont, giving them a 5-point lead as McDonald makes that a 3-point lead now for Fremont.
It's a good take by McDonald, and I love Riverton coming out and getting to the rim. Dusty only scored 5 points in that second quarter. We were talking with the coach yesterday in the 5A tournament. He said, we can't go and throw up 2 or 3 in a quarter. And essentially that's what Riverton just did. I mean, the 5, they were in control of this ballgame, had a double-figure lead, a poor second quarter. Now they're in for a battle, but hey, the second half, nice rebound there. See how they execute here on their second offensive possession. Back inside.
Nice take and finish by Hymas. Tristan Hymas now with 9 points.
Didn't have Stratford on him. Was able to body up in the paint in a very similar way in which they started as Dallin Hall gets back to the rim.
Dallin Hall, a current UVU offeree, only ever committed.
Yeah, he's going to have other options. None of the UVUs are bad.
He'll have
don't take that the
additional
wrong
options.
way. Yeah.
Coach Mark Pope is in the building today. I'll say he's the only coach I've seen this week in a suit. I don't know if they played later tonight or what. As going to get Stratford with the block, and Coach Mullaney didn't like that one. That is number 3 on Stratford. And every foul on number 12 is big, although 9, finally healthy, could come in and spell him.
Big call. And it'll be interesting to see if that shifts the way that Stratford is playing defense. We talked about in that second quarter, was much more physical, much more aggressive on the ball, trying to disrupt passing lanes, was right into the body. Will he still elect to play that way now with 3 personals? Good job staying home there by Peterson. Didn't bite on that shot fake.
I don't know how that wasn't. It was really close to being 3 seconds. As Applegate. And now an offensive foul on that screen. Going to go against Lilquist. Coach Wilson asking for an explanation. And it'll be Fremont basketball. Hall. Now Stratford back over to Harrop, trying to go inside now to Dallin. We're going to have a foul on that entry. And that's going to go to Lilquist. That's number 3.
2 quick fouls on Dakota. We talk about the depth and how does that affect Stratford? How does it affect Lilquist?
Coach Wilson's keeping track of the makeup calls. He said, that's now 2 of them you owe me.
Well, and I think, so Lilquist's going to come off here, and Riverton can go with a little more length in the post here as Blake Newbold will come on. Newbold scoreless in the contest still.
Open to Nye and no call. Time has hit the deck, and Applegate has it, and now it'll be Peterson called for the reach. And there'll be a foul, and that's the second on, the first on Peterson, second team foul.
I was surprised there was no call on the Hymas contact. I don't know that I had a preference which way, but usually when you see a body hit the floor on a drive, there's a call, right? There's a whistle one way or the other. Was a little surprised there wasn't one there.
And the 3 from Applegate didn't go. Newbold couldn't corral it. Hymas tracks it down.
Boy, he's having himself a really good quarters.
Nice pass, Hymas to Newbold, who lays it home.
First points for Newbold. And Riverton getting back to the ball movement and movement without the ball and getting good looks at the rim as they've cut this down to 1.
5:10 left in the third. Hall over to Peterson. Dallin working on McDonald.
All the scores beyond the arc right now for Fremont.
And now the matchup they wanted. It's a 3 from Hall off the mark. Rebound to Hymas, and a chance for Riverton to reclaim the lead as McDonald send over to Applegate. Hymas will back it out.
Good closeout that time by Harrop. Applegate was coming up. Harrop did a great job of closing that down to deny it.
Hymas going to go at Peterson.
Go right at him.
Hymas can't get it to drop, and Nye pulls down the rebound, and up the floor we go with Dallin Hall.
Good job standing strong that time by Peterson. Didn't reach in at all, just stayed vertical. Tried to contest as well as he could without fouling.
And Hall misses the bunny, and now on the push with McDonald.
Pull up. Great decision by Dane McDonald.
And Riverton reclaims the lead 30-29.
So often you'll see guys try to go into bodies and actually make that shot more difficult. McDonald understanding he's got a chance to just pull up from 8, square up, hit it. And Riverton starting off this third quarter on an 8-2 run.
Inside the midway point of the third quarter as Harrop gets called for 3 seconds. Call out in Harrop or Nye on that one.
Boy, that was a great job by 22, Luke Chandler. First of all, on the defense on the interior, and then they passed it out and rotated over real quickly on Harrop. Harrop gets caught sleeping a little bit.
As Hymas hands back to Newbold. Riverton going to look to extend this lead. Hymas hands back. Applegate for 3 and got it. Parker Applegate from the outside. Timeout, Coach Mullaney. 3:26 left in the third quarter. You're watching the 6A state tournament.
Download the UHSAA mobile app for scores and brackets.
Out of the timeout, Riverton with a 4-point lead on Fremont. They got back to the things that got them the lead in the first quarter.
Sure did, and how about setting up a 3 for Applegate around the screen? That's where he's been so good this year. And talk about being good this year. Holland on the drive again, counting the bucket, and back to the line here for Dallin Hall now with 15.
Hall, he is the offense for Fremont. We talk about teams, guys being the engines and all that kind of stuff. He's everything.
That he is. And you know, one of the great things today, we really haven't talked about this, but we got great juniors in next year's class on the floor today. I mean, obviously we've talked about this for Fremont. Voorhees Jr., Harrop Jr., Hall Jr. Okay, that's great, obviously, for Fremont. As a 3 here from the corner, good. By Luke Chandler, he is a senior, but Parker Applegate, a junior. Mentioned one of the better shooters on the floor in this one, and Applegate's got another year here for Riverton.
As Hall will pull for 3 and hit. You got Dallin Hall finding his range. And Hall now with 19 points, and Riverton up 36-35.
Only scorer in the quarter for Fremont, Dallin Hall. Second game in a row, Dusty, where he has been the only scorer for Fremont in the third. Still 2.5 left for the White Silver Wolves to change that.
And that ball a little too low there for McDonald on the push. Here comes Hall. Dallin to the rim and a finish. Fremont up 37-36. And a steal by Harrop.
Get it to 30. Heave it from there, Dallin.
Hall, hesitation around the defender. And Dallin Hall on a personal run, and it's a 3-point Fremont lead.
You see the respect. I mean, even that hesitation forces Riverton to come up, allows him to drive. That's a tough finish underneath as well. 12 in the quarter. Dallin Hall with 23 in the game.
Chandler along the baseline to Newbold. Hands back McDonald. Rigby give it up to Gibson at the high post. And now a 3 from Chandler. Thought that might drop. Newbold, nice hustle. Out of bounds off of Stratford. And we'll stay here with Riverton with 1:35 left in the third.
Dusty. Here's the remarkable thing. Quarterfinals, we've had, 15 minutes of third quarter action in this state tournament for Fremont. Dallin Hall's been the only player to score, and It's been the quarter in which they've made movements.
Yeah. Just a bad man. What's awesome is he doesn't shrink from it. And it's not like you're watching him just be overly selfish.
Yeah, that last one I thought he could have given it up, but he also understands I'm feeling it right now, and I got a chance to get to the rim, maybe get an and one. The call didn't come, but love what we've seen from Dallin Hall in this tournament.
Great hands by Stratford with the steal. McDonald nearly poked one away. And it's Featherstone trapped, and a timeout granted to Coach Mullaney.
He's only got one left. Interesting decision there.
Full timeout. 1:11 left in the third. Fremont up by 3.
Get $75 when you open a MyStyle checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. With MyStyle checking, you'll earn rewards like gift cards, cashback, event tickets, and more. For details, visit macu.com.
One minute and 11 seconds left in the third quarter in what has turned into the Dallin Hall show. The only player in double figures for either side is Dallin Hall, and he's got 23.
In fact, he's got double figures in the quarter. If Fremont wins this ball game, they'll play the winner of PG and Harriman, and the game plan becomes how do you get Dallin Hall off the floor in the third? Because he's been stellar in both third quarters in this state tournament.
Voorhees wide on that three. Out to Stratford. Mitch can't get it. And we got a foul on the rebound against Newbold. That'll be the 4th team foul on Riverton.
Here's the thing. I want kids to succeed, right? But both those shots, I was like, please don't go in. Don't ruin a good storyline here with Dallin Hall scoring all the third quarter points.
You know, it's actually a good thing for Fremont, the way that the state tournament is this year, is that either 5A or 6A goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, based on the year. It alternates. As Hall pulls for 3, back rim, and Hymas pulls down the rebound. As if Fremont were to hang on, say we go win this game, is that Hall would be somewhat rested on Friday, because you need him to do that again if you were to face either PG or Harriman for that matter. But Fremont doesn't win without him doing what he does, and Riverton only trailing by 3 points through the flurry of Hall as Hymas makes it a 1-point game. And Hymas says, hey, if you're not number 30, we're not getting anything done in the third quarter. He's now 11 points on the afternoon.
Yeah, I love that Riverton has gotten him involved. Draw back to within 1 here.
Hall, nice drive, and it goes home. Dallin now with 25, 3 at the horn from McDonald. Comes up short. We head to the fourth quarter. Dallin Hall scored every Fremont point, and they lead 41-38 over Riverton. You're watching the 2019 6A State Tournament on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Start of the fourth quarter, Fremont 41, Riverton 38. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart. Dane, what a fun third quarter out of Dallin Hall, who now drives and has 27 points.
You know, I'm going to start calling them the cheat code, because Riverton, in the third, they didn't have a player that could stay with them. They took their best defender in Dane McDonald, and he's step for step with him, and Dallin still gets the finish. You like that nickname? The cheat code?
Yeah, the cheat code. I like that one. As that was a take and finish by Parker Applegate. Parker only scores of his worst 3 points, so I'm glad he keeps that trend going. You know, what Dallin Hall reminds me of is Stratford picks up his 4th personal foul. Jesse Wade had to do a lot of this stuff with Davis, but Jesse got a lot of points from the free throw line. Dallin Hall doesn't shoot a ton of free throws. As that free throw is good from Applegate, and it's a 2-point lead.
If I had my other score sheet, I'd be able to tell you exactly how many free throws he's made, but most of the ones he has been and one situations as a foul here. And right now, Dusty, there hasn't been another Fremont Silverwolf score in the second half.
Well, Hall now with 4, we're going for 5 points in the quarter, and it's a 4-point Fremont lead. And I only chuckle because we've watched a lot of Dallin Hall basketball in the last 2 seasons. And I know he was at Lone Peak as a freshman, was back to Plain City, playing at Fremont. And I'm sure Coach Ross is sitting back right now and said, it's been kind of nice to have number 30 on our side in that game on Monday, as it's a 5-point Fremont lead.
Well, he'd be playing in this game on Wednesday.
As goal high post, McDonald send out, 3 on the way, off the mark. Hymas fought for it. Voorhees comes away with it. Tig down the lane, leave it for Harrop, and Baylor ends the Hall run, but extends the Fremont run, and it's a 7-point Fremont lead. 7:03 left in the fourth quarter. Timeout, Riverton. Dane, how impressive. I mean, we could sit and talk about Dallin Hall, but let's look at this state tournament. Fremont now up 7 points. We had a spectacular first game. We had a very good second game. The 6A tournament on Monday, let's be honest, was really lopsided. This second day has been very good.
It has been very good, and we've got one more really good game coming up in Harriman PG. The winner of this gets the winner of that, and I'll tell you, I was talking with people this week, and people always want to talk, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? And we were talking, well, what if Fremont wins? And do they match up with PG? And I was like, well, I don't quite know that they're able to have success against PG in that zone defense. But you look at the way that Dallin Hall has decided to score in this one, and why not?
What I said was he shoots threes really well. And a 2-3 zone, it's not man-to-man.
Yeah.
So Dallin can pick his spots. And they don't really rely, speaking of on Riverton, on posting up on the inside. It's a driving kind of thing.
Yeah, the interesting thing would be is who would win the battle down low? Is Dallin Hall going to get fouls called on Van Komen, or is Van Komen going to go for 6 blocks?
Right.
Because the driving ability would certainly be altered or favored, right? One way or the other. But Dallin Hall has driven a lot in this game. We've talked about his ability to just shoot from the floor. He'll do that pull-up, and you drop him between that 2-3 zone and just quick turnaround, jumpers from 12, 15 feet, he'll hit those all day long.
Newbold inside gets the bucket, and that's what Riverton needs. Just those consistent buckets, because sooner or later you feel as though Hall will cool off.
Well, what Riverton needs is to stop this.
Hall send up top to Harrop. Baylor down the lane, jackknife it up and in. Harrop and Hall combining for 41 of the 50 points for Fremont.
And the other 7 from Voorhees.
Right, 48 of the 50 coming from 3 players. As McDonald pulls up inside the free throw line, doesn't get it. Nye with the rebound.
50 of the 50.
Gets in the corner, Voorhees. Can't get it, Hall with the board. Hall with the putback. 32 for Dallin.
Well, I think pretty safe to say he's made the all-tournament team. Going for the all-tournament MVP. There's a foul here called beyond the arc, and we pushed up to 9.
Rigby and Lowenquist come on for Coach Wilson. But again, for Riverton, like we said before in any other game, you have got to continue to score because sooner or later you're going to have some chances. There will be some zeros on this end of the floor, and you got to be putting up 2s and 3s on your end.
4 team fouls on Fremont here in the second half, 5 on Riverton.
Applegate gets a 3 to stay home. And Parker Applegate now with 14.
A screen from Newbold allows that corner to be open just long enough, and Voorhees trying to close down, which A for effort, but the length of Applegate going to win that battle most of the time, and a nice made 3, and right now you see Fremont showing a little bit of patience here. Either that or just, getting the defense to create a lane for Dallin Hall.
Hall down the lane. Hymas cut it off, send to the corner. Voorhees for 3. The masked man from the corner answers the 3 from Applegate. And it's 55-46.
You get so focused on the drive from Hall that you try to stop that with every ability you have, and it's Voorhees from the corner.
And Applegate's going to keep Riverton within striking distance.
8 points in the quarter, 16 in the contest for Parker. That defense going to have to make a stop, and right now, you got Dallin Hall's just going through Riverton defenders again.
Featherstone for 3.
Dusty, you talked earlier this week about there hasn't been a team make more than 10 threes. I think we saw that go down yesterday, but right now Fremont's got to be getting close.
Yeah, Wasatch got 10, and I think Fremont's right on it. By the way, I meant to let you know that. I was able to confirm Wasatch hit exactly 10 threes.
Been lying to me all week.
We put the caveat on there. We need to know. As Rigby drives and gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Harrop picking up the foul, second.
But again, for Riverton, points, especially when the clock stopped. The only way to keep this thing in striking distance. And Dane, one thing we have not mentioned is Dane McDonald right now is getting respatted on that sideline and not on the floor for Coach Wilson.
Yeah, good pickup, Dusty. I missed that. I didn't even see him turn it.
I didn't either, and he seems pretty frustrated.
This time of year, I think most players are going through a little more tape than usual. As Rigby at the line goes 1 of 2, and a foul here on the inbound.
And Rigby fouls Hall. And luckily, I actually meant to look earlier. It looks like as though they fixed the sign down there on the scoreboard. Got broken yesterday by Dante Martin.
Hey, now that's responsiveness.
Right.
That's inside of 24 hours, man.
Take care of your sponsors.
Right.
3:40 left in the fourth quarter. Fremont, the 9-point advantage, looking to move on to the semifinals. They have to close this out, though.
The real interesting thing would be is if they charged Jordan for it. I think Coach Bevel was probably already frustrated enough, let alone if he'd have to pay extra for a sign.
Hall now with 34. I bet his career high is 34, 36 points. As Applegate guarded by Voorhees. Off the screen of Hymas. And that ball's tipped. As Fremont has done everything they've wanted to do well today, Dane. As Featherstone hands back to Voorhees. Back in the corner. Kai pump the 3, send out to the corner. And wanted to take off more clock than put on points.
35, the career high for Dallin Hall. Had it against American Fork. Had it against Syracuse. Both coming this year.
And now a foul. That will be the 7th team foul on Riverton. It'll be 1-1 free throws for Baylor Harrop.
And here Dakota Lillenquist is now fouled out.
And McDonald comes back on the floor. Glad to see that.
You can see him hobbling a little bit, though.
The Cowboy wants to go out with his boots on, so let McDonald get on the floor. As Harrop misses the front end of 1-1. Not out of the question here for Riverton. You got to start hitting threes. We had 2 timeouts remaining. Up top with Applegate. Parker creates some room. Fall away, won't go. Gets the loose ball, but stepped out of bounds.
How about the job Coach Mulaney's done at Fremont in recent years? It's becoming a reload position at Fremont. A lot of talent gone through that program in recent years.
With the semifinals in 2011. And last year was a region championship. Didn't quite get as far as he thought he might get in the state tournament. Lost to Copper Hills in that second round.
Well, that's the interesting thing is we were preparing for our bracketology. I think it was 3 years ago they lost in the first round, or 2 years ago lost in the first round. Last year they lost in the quarters. Kind of building it year by year. And if that trend holds true, they make the semis this year and championship next year, huh?
That's the way it goes with Hall and Harrop and Voorhees, all seniors next year.
In fact, the interesting thing when you look at 6A and you look at this year's senior class and who moves on and you look at who's coming back, we've seen Dallin Hall shoulder the load today. This Fremont a preseason top 3 team. And I think you can make the argument, certainly top 5.
Absolutely. You look at all the what's coming back. You got the most prolific scorer in the state returning.
Our statistical department said that Fremont might be the favorite for state championship next year.
Of course, the statistical department also heads up our intern, so.
Well, and we don't have any MSTAT in our statistical department, but, you know, we're still building it.
We need to work with AWS a little bit more. That 3's off the mark with Applegate. And Riverton will inbound along the baseline as Dallin Hall now has a new career high of 36 points.
He had 3 in the first quarter.
Right.
He's almost beat his career high in 3 quarters worth of play as Hymas has that one roll off. And, you know, it's just crazy how quickly it avalanches on you. I mean, this game 8 minutes ago is competitive, and all of a sudden it's 13 as Harrop with some ball handling. And
one of the biggest cheers of the day. It's not a Hall make. It's not a the +1s. It's not a 3. It was a dribble from Baylor Harrop.
You know, back in my day, we used to get excited about dunks.
Right.
And now it's like if a kid loses his balance.
Or takes a step back on the defender steps back on a step back. We've got to redefine what an ankle breaker is.
Yeah.
Although that was, I mean, legitimately nice move. But it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Dusty, we're now the old guy, right?
I don't have a lawn to, well, I kind of do, to get off of. But not in this moment. Kids can go enjoy themselves. This is kind of funny to me. As Hall knocks down the first.
All right, so that's now 26 in the second half for Dallin. Hey, he doesn't like that Baylor Harrop has the season high in school record. We're taking that puppy down.
I don't know if he's got 5 more in him. I don't know if Riverton will keep handing it over. 37 points now for Dallin Hall. As McDonald sends up top to Hymas. And Tristan knocks down a 3. Timeout, Coach Wilson. 46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's Fremont 64, Riverton 52.
So the school record is 40. Dallin Hall 2 shy of that, and that's not going to help.
And Dallin wanted it. They inbounded the Featherstone, and he wanted him to kick it back, and he kind of laughed. He's like, oh.
Yeah, you don't think he knows?
Oh,
Guys, I got 38 here.
You don't think Coach Mulaney knows?
I think he does.
The question is, from Baylor Harrop, what does Harrop think? We learned earlier.
Well, you know who's on the bench right now?
I know.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like, let me have something. At the end of this run with the two of us, he's probably going to get it anyway, but at least let me have something at the end of this year. We learned earlier that Trevin Alfrey is going to finish about 30-some-odd points away from Preston Sanchez's all-time scoring record at Copper Hills. And apparently Preston said, hey, go get it, man. And I'm curious if Baylor would say the same thing to Dallin.
I'm not going to lie. If I had a school record, I would not want it broken. I'd be like, no way, man.
Made to be broken, my eye.
Exactly. It took me a lot of work to get that. And the kicker is it was just like a month ago that Harrop got it.
Timeout, full timeout on the floor, 35 seconds left. You watch the 6A state tournament. They get this ball in at number 30? Yes, they do. And will Riverton foul him? No, they won't. And then they get Voorhees. So Baylor is going to go to sleep tonight knowing one more night. I'm the all-time single game scoring leader.
He's still 30 seconds away here. Not quite done yet. I don't see a sub coming in.
Coach Mulaney's like, records, you let guys go get records. Well, it would tie Baylor, so maybe that's why Baylor's okay.
A 3 wouldn't.
I think he's not going to jack up a 3. As Voorhees gets the free throws. As McDonald working on Featherstone. And back to. And now it's Applegate. Left it short. McDonald to Hymas. And Hall with the board. No foul forthcoming. As Dallin Hall walking it into the front court as Riverton runs into the semifinals. Fremont 68, Riverton 55. Dane, your thoughts and the player of the game?
Is there any doubt?
Nope.
How about 38 points for Dallin Hall? 27 of those coming in the second half for the second straight game in the state tournament. The only Fremont Silverwolf to score in the third quarter, where Fremont really blew this open, was in the fourth, 25-14. Dallin Hall, congratulations on a huge night. Baylor Harrop, congratulations on one more night as the school record holder of points scored in the ball game, but Fremont just dominative in the second half.
Fremont moving on to the semifinals. They'll play the winner, Pleasant Grove and Harriman. Congratulations to Coach Wilson and Riverton for a terrific season. For Vince Francis, Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us. Watch the 6A state tournament on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.